Soul Brothers of Kung Fu from 1977 is a rare example of Bruceploitation meets Blaxploitation. If this one's East meets West Harlem, if that makes any sense. So it begins with our three heroes. You've got Bruce Lee, and you've got his gambling addicted mate, and you've got his love interest Dora, not to be confused with Dora the Explorer. And they're refugees floating on a raft, and they look to be in a bit of trouble. When this movie started, I thought that it might be a USS Indianapolis type situation with Bruce fighting off ravenous sharks somewhere in the Sea of China. But fortunately for Bruce and his two companions, they're rescued, so they're refugees, and they arrive in Hong Kong, of course, and start living the, not so much the American dream, but the Hong Kong dream, I guess you'd say. And Bruce, as always, is quite naive. Bruce Lee. He has this brilliant, positive naivety that a lot of the Bruces do in these movies, these Bruceploitation movies. And he likes to think that they're working hard and the boss that they're working for might be a big shot, but he started out poor like they did, which is incredibly naive to say the least. And no prizes for guessing that their boss isn't this hard-working, self-made man. He's more of a cardboard cutout kung fu movie villain. Now, along the way, at their workplace, which is the Wharves, of course, they meet a friend, and that friend is the Blaxploitation element of this movie. It's a guy called Carl Scott. That's the actor's name, at least. And surprisingly, he appeared in 3 other Bruceploitation movies, including Bruce Lee, the Man, the Myth. But this is his most notable role in Soul Brothers of Kung Fu. So this movie seems like a bit of a happy accident. It's certainly one of the highlights of the Bruceploitation cycle. I don't know if they originally planned to capitalise on the Blaxploitation side of things, or whether Carl Scott just happened to be a talented martial artist that was known to the producers in some way, maybe living in Hong Kong. If you have any more information on Carl Scott, by all means let us know in the comments. But this movie is basically about the relationship between, well, the strained relationship at the heart of this movie is between Bruce, his gambling addicted mate, who's more likely to be found down at the local TAB than at the local Taekwondo dojo, and Carl Scott, who's their newfound soul brother friend. And you've got the love interest Dora, of course, who's not to be confused with Dora the Explorer, although they are exploring quite a bit in this movie. And you've got all the usual villains, all the usual martial arts hijinks, plenty of action. And this one's unique in having one of the more depressing resolutions of any of the Bruceploitation movies, any of the Lee-alike movies, any of the movies inspired by Bruce Lee. So the ending is a bit of a bummer, but I won't spoil it for you here. This one's also unique in kind of breaking the fourth wall. So most of these Bruceploitation movies, whether it's Bruce Lee joints, Bruce Let joints, Dragon Lee joints, Bruce Tai joints, or any of the clones of Bruce Lee, most of the time these movies are kind of like WWF and WCW in the 80s and early 90s. They don't acknowledge that Bruce Lee exists in much the same way that WCW and WWF never acknowledged that one another existed till about the mid-90s. And I think we all remember when Ric Flair went to WWF as the real world champion, and they'd show his belt, but they still wouldn't acknowledge that WCW was involved in any way, shape or form till the whole Monday Night Wars began. So in much the same way, this one's unique in the canon of Bruceploitation, of Lee-alike movies. of clones of Bruce Lee movies. In acknowledging the existence of Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee references him a number of times in the movie as an influence, as a hero, as a pioneer, and it's quite unusual in that regard. So it does kind of break down the fourth wall, break through the fourth wall, much like Bruce Lee himself would have broken through boards in martial art displays. And that's, of course, pre-scored boards to make sure that they break quite easily. But that's the approach that this movie takes. So it does acknowledge the existence of Bruce Lee, and it does give it a bit of a novelty value in much the same way as you may see a zombie movie that acknowledges the existence of Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead. Whereas most zombie movies kind of pretend that no one's ever heard of zombies before. So occasionally you see a referential one, and this sort of takes the same sort of approach to being inspired by Bruce Lee. And it was probably a clever approach. It probably stopped them getting sued for plagiarism, I guess. Because really all the producers have to say is, no, this isn't Bruce Lee. This is a guy that incredibly admires Bruce Lee. And he isn't trying to steal his shtick. He's purely just a member of the Bruce Lee Admiration Society, as opposed to a clone of Bruce Lee, even though Bruce Lee did have the same first name, which was changed, and the same last name almost, just a couple of letters changed. The acknowledging of Bruce Lee probably went a great way in preventing legal action and so on and so forth. So this is one of the more memorable movies of the Lee-alike cycle, one of the more fun movies, one of the more coherent movies, believe it or not. It has an actual plot structure, and things seem to make sense. You've got your cardboard cutout bad guys, of course. You've got your interpersonal relationships between Bruce and Carl Scott and their mate, who's the mad punter. And it all sort of comes to a head at the end of it. But again, I won't spoil that for you. So a very cool movie, very cool fashions in this one as well. For all you fans of 70s chic culture, 70s fashion, seemingly every scene someone's wearing some very sweet threads in this one. And it's certainly one of the more memorable of the Lee-alike movies. So certainly one of my favourite genres, the Bruceploitation genre. I love blaxploitation movies as well, so it was pretty cool to see that genre blending crossover here. As I said, it does have a whole kind of East meets West Harlem feel to it, even though it is set in Hong Kong, of course. There's plenty of the tropes that we all love, like people answering telephones and planes landing to add production value. And speaking of adding production value, this movie shows us a textbook case of how you can add a massive amount of production value to a movie merely by stacking a bunch of cardboard boxes. And Soul Brothers of Kung Fu demonstrates effectively how you really can create an impressive fight scene merely with a bunch of old stacked fruit cardboard boxes. And that sort of happens towards the end of the movie, and it is, I have to say, cardboard boxes will make or break a movie, especially a Bruceploitation movie. And if you don't have cardboard boxes, then you're really missing out with these Bruceploitation movies, or generally any action movie, whether it's low budget or otherwise. Hollywood could well do with bringing back cardboard boxes in action scenes and fight scenes, but knowing Hollywood, they'd probably have CGI boxes nowadays. So I don't have much else to say on this Bruce movie, Soul Brothers of Kung Fu, the example of East meets West Harlem, Bruce meets blaxploitation. Very cool movie. Bruce Lee, of course, is my favourite of the Bruces, and that includes the original Bruce. I know that's probably sacrilegious for a lot of you, but for me at least, it rings true. I'm always much more interested to see Bruce Lee in action than Bruce Lee. He is a better actor, perhaps not as good as a Kung Fu practitioner or a Jeet Kune Do practitioner, but certainly his acting chops are far superior to Bruce Lee. Sad to say, but true. Some of you may disagree in the comments, but it is what it is. So what are some of your favourite Bruceploitation or Blaxploitation movies? I'd be keen to hear your thoughts. It's a much forgotten genre, but a great genre, as with Blaxploitation. And these movies are always a good fun beer and fried chicken Friday night. So if you enjoyed this look at Soul Brothers of Kung Fu, by all means, please like, share and subscribe. And I'm off to enjoy the rest of my evening. Hope you are too. And till next time, take it very easy.